across the board, globally, in Ireland, Europe, globally, talking to them, bringing them to the front line, talking about their books and their life and what is the inspiration behind their book. So tonight we're going to be talking about this book. And one of the things I love about this book, which is called the Healing Letter, this is just a book, Healing Letter. You can see the image on the front of the book there. I'll put all the links there, and you guys can see it. I'll send you the graphic for the book itself, in case you're thinking of where am I going to get this book. So we're going to be talking about this book. She's going to introduce herself to you all. But before she does that, we're going to be talking about three things relating to the book itself. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is what is behind the smile. You can see both of us putting on a smile. We've been working all day. We're back here talking about books. We take time to write. What is behind the smile? What gives us that energy that to have the smile and to keep the smile on? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. And the second thing we're going to talk about is what I know is key to us as women, and to us in general, not just women, but to everybody out there, because the book is for everyone. It's for young, old, adult, men, and women. There's something in our life that we battle with, and that is forgiveness. How do you deal with forgiveness? Do you need the people you want to forgive to acknowledge their wrong? Do you need them? Do you need their permission for you to forgive them? So those are the things we're going to talk about. And I'm telling you, if you get to read the book, you see why we have to talk about this. And the third thing we're going to really talk about is the two faces. The word two faces, just put it apostrophe around it, two faces. Every one of us have them in our life. Those people that are two faces, those people that smile with you when they see you, and behind you, they're doing something else. Every single one of us will have those people in our life. And today, on the author experience, with our author of the month, she's going to tell us how her book has dealt with this, the experience she has had personally, and most importantly, why she wrote the book and why this can address those three issues that I've spoken about. So, meet our author. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, Susanna. Thank you so much for that introduction. It was lovely. So I'm Aurea Reis. I was born in Angola, and I was raised in Portugal. I moved. I'm living in UK for 14 years now. It's going to be 14 years in August. It seems like I just came yesterday. Wow. I live in West Midlands, Wolverhampton. And so, yeah, being here for this long, I'm a single mother of a little boy, which is an author as well, as you know. And yes, that's, I don't know if you want me to say anything else, but that's basically me.
That's you. So let's talk. Let's start with what is behind this your smile. It's some of the things you spoke about in your book. So what is behind the smile? What's behind the smile? What's behind the smile? So let's talk about that in the healing letters, because these are just pure letters that you've written to yourself, and you're writing this to the world. You want to share your thoughts with us. So what is behind this beautiful smile that we're seeing?
Thank you. So behind the smile is actually my first chapter in the book. And it brings us to the subject, child sexual abuse, where I talk about the time that I came to live from Angola. I came to live in Portugal because my mom at the time was a single mother. And because of the conflicts in Angola, the civil war and everything, she thought it was best for me to be studying in Portugal. So I went there, and she left me there for a year studying with this family that was taking care of me. But the thing is, I was always smiling as a child, always smiling, because in my mind as a little girl, like I can remember so well, one of the things, no one told me to do that, but in my mind was like, if I am really good, these people will never beat me up, they'll never mistreat me. So I always had a smile in my face, but deep inside I was so sad, I was scared, I was in fear. I was like, is my mom coming to pick me up one day? Is she going to leave me here forever? And I was living with this family, and they had like a family member or friend of the family. They used to live in the door in front, and he was sexual molesting me. But even with him, I never said no, because the way he approached me, the family where I was, then they didn't acknowledge me. It was like I was invisible to them. That's at least how I felt. I can only speak my truth. I don't know about them, because only them can tell me exactly how did they see me. But it was like I was invisible. I was sitting in the house. I used to go to school, come, and bear in mind I was only 6 years old. No one would talk to me. No one would play with me. No one had asked me my feelings, if I was okay. I was my day at school, if I was missing my mom. So this person came to me. Sometimes he would babysit me. And it would be nice. He would cook for me, because he was a painter. Sometimes he would teach me how to paint canvas and everything, watch cartoons with me. And of course, he gained my trust, and he became, and from my eyes at the time, he was the only nice person that I knew, because he actually saw me, and he would talk to me, and he would acknowledge me. So when he started doing all these things to me, I just felt like maybe it was a normal behavior. I did question, like, not asking him, but in my mind was like, maybe it's the way adults love. I don't know. But I even questioned my mom's love, because she never done none of that to me. Not my uncles, not my aunties, none of my family in Angola. So I did question all of that, but I never said anything to anyone, because I just thought, if I cause trouble, it's going to be worse, and no one is here to defend me. My mom is not here to defend me. So I just kept smiling.
And I have to say something there. That one of the reasons I believe you will keep quiet is because at that age, those feelings that you get, because I'm a sexologist and I talk about sex a lot. Those feelings that you're getting at that point in time is an experience that if someone experiences for the first time, you really just can't get over it, because it's for the first experience you have of a sexual experience, it's mind blowing. And
Yeah.
so for you to have this experience at that age, and then with all the things that have gone with that, knowing that it makes you feel comfortable, even though you know it is wrong, because there's always that instinct in us that feel that, oh, is this right for me to do this? What does this mean? Because there's a reason why you're keeping it secret at the same time, even though it's not telling you to keep it secret, or he might have said that, but there's a reason why you're keeping it secret, because there's, in our mind, there's always this good and bad. There's always this thing in our mind. Yes. that filters away our thoughts. So there's something there filtering away your thought, telling you whether it's good, whether it's bad. But you've subdued that because of that kind of feeling that you get, that you can't even explain what it means to you. You felt it, but you can't explain it. It's sweet, it's not bitter. There's a bit of bitterness and pain to it, but at the same time, it's sweet. And you're just like, okay. And every time you see them, they come close to you, you want to get a little bit feel of that. How does it feel like again?
Yeah.
And you keep quiet until you get to a stage whereby if they become unkind to you, or it becomes exposed, or when you start hearing about it, and then you realize that, oh, not at that age, I shouldn't be exposed to it. That is taking advantage of you. And I'm so happy that when people start reading your book, they will have a lot to learn from that. They will have a lot to see about your experience. And this is the more reason we're saying people should get that book. Go out there and get the healing letters. Go and get it. Go and get it and see more. There's more to this story. That is just a bit of it. But what we want you guys to know is that behind every smile you see us, as women, as men, our children, when you put them in care of people, talk to them. And when somebody is staying with you, and just ask them, let them know you love and care, because that was what was lacking there. You didn't see anybody to show you that kind of love that you get. And thank God you said something there. None of your family has shown you that kind of love, because they know that that's not the way to love you. That's not the way to love you. Your mom knows that's not the way to love you. Your uncles knows that's not the way to love you. And the people that you're staying with, you might feel that they don't see you, but they do see you. But for them, they just feel that they have to provide the basic need for you. And as long as they provide the basic need for you, a lot of adults don't even know how to engage with young people. And that's another thing. And, but they are seeing you somehow. They see you. And I hope that with time you can reconcile with that. But now let's go to the next thing you spoke about the book, which is so interesting, and that is about forgiveness. So just like I'm saying there, I hope you can reconcile with your feelings with them. And I hope you can come up with a book of how you reconcile with your feelings with them. How do you forgive them? Just within you, or just to let, or do you have to talk to them? Let them know what you were feeling then. Let them see that, so that they don't make those mistakes, so that they can talk to other people about it, and so that many people out there will not make the same mistake. When we have young child like yourself, 6 years old, stay with us. Now, I don't want to take much of our time, but I have to remind you that was the time I was young that my mom dropped me with his hand, a hand to stay with her. And for me, just like you said, you wanted to be good to them. I didn't want them to ever complain about me to my mom. I want them to say good things about my mom. My mom was just traveling for a few weeks. So when I get up in the morning, before everybody gets up, I've finished the whole work in the house. I've done everything. Cleaned the house, the food. And by the time my mom came back and they told my mom what I've been doing, my mom thought that this is not my daughter. Okay. When she got to, she was, when they tell her, she was happy that they were happy to have me, that I really do her proud. She was so proud of that. And there was no complaint about me. And it was like, before everybody, they didn't even want me to go away. But when we got home, she was like, hey, so you can do this. So let's talk about forgiveness, my darling. In the evening's letters, forgiveness, how do you deal with forgiveness, and how should people deal with it? And have you asked yourself that question? Have you forgiven them?
To be honest, in the beginning, I didn't thought I should forgive anyone because I was that hurt. But I started writing my book when I was in therapy. It started that my therapist actually advised me to write letters, not to send to anyone, but just to help me take out of my chest what I had inside, because there was no point for me to talking with these people, because sometimes people here to respond instead of just listening. And so what happened was I start doing that. And then I realized that the more I was writing, the more it was helping me, because I started talking about the child sexual abuse. I didn't spoke about that until this age. Some of my friends knew, one or two maybe, an ex-boyfriend or something like that, but it wasn't something that not even my mom knew. She just found out straight before I published the book, because it was going to be in the open, so I needed her to know from me. And when you talk about forgiveness, you need to understand that you don't need other people's permission. You're not forgiving people sometimes to forgive them just for them. You're forgiving for you, because the moment that you say I forgive you, and with intent, like you feel it that you're actually forgiving, it's like a weight comes out of your shoulder. And then you need to forgive yourself for allowing them to own you for that long. Because when you feel that grudge, that hate against someone else, you actually you putting yourself in prison.
Yeah.
Because you carrying that bag full of stones, and it's heavy to carry that. I carried that bag for 37 years at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was heavy. It was holding me down. It was holding me from my greatness. And I was always like upset with everything. You would say something wrong to me, and I would, and so from the moment I decided to start forgiving people for what they have done to me, I start feeling lighter, and they don't even need to know that I forgive them, because I forgive them for myself.
Yes, and that is the key thing. Yeah, that is the key
Because they
thing.
might not even remember what happened.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, that, oh, but it didn't happen that way, maybe for you, because I remember all details.
Yeah.
And even for my child sexual abuser, it is people sometimes, how can you forgive that?
Okay, sorry. What is happening here? It's on the cloud. And when somebody is staying, yeah,
because you carrying that bag full of stones and it's heavy to carry that. I carried that bag for 37 years at the time, and it was heavy. It was holding me down. It was holding me from my greatness, and I was always like upset with everything. You would say something wrong to me, and I'll, and so from the moment I decided to start forgiving people for what they have done to me, I start feeling lighter, and they don't even need to know that I forgive them, because I forgive them for myself.
Yes, that is the key thing. Yeah, that is the key.
But they might not even remember what happened.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, that but it didn't happen that way, maybe for you, because I remember all details.
Yeah.
And even from my child sexual abuser, it is people sometimes, how can you forgive that? Exactly. I forgave for myself because that man owned me for too long.
Yeah.
And something wrong to me, and the fact that I kept it a secret. I didn't keep a secret to protect him. I kept a secret because I was ashamed of what happened to me, and I was ashamed of what people would say. And in the end, I realized it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything to provoke it.
Yeah.
He's just a sick-minded person.
Exactly. And just to say that at that age, there was nothing for you to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
Because you're 6 years of age. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But even if you're older than that, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Even do you realize that at this our age, people over 50s or in your 40s, in your 30s, we are still being abused by people we love and trust. We still allow ourselves, just like you said, that we allow ourselves to be abused, right? I was quite talking to someone recently. I said, if we go back to where we were back home in Nigeria, coming from an African background, I don't know what happened here, but I think it happens here as well, because now I realize it happens here. But I see Nigeria in the sense that there's no legal structure that just allows you at that time to come out and say things. Some of our husbands would have been in prison by now because, many of our fathers and our uncles will be in prison because they feel that they have authority over your body.
Yeah.
The idea of you saying no to sex is just nothing.
It's the same in Angola. I'm sure many men would be in prison by now. I'm sure it would be more women in society than men. Free.
Yeah, and then the idea of having a boyfriend and you go and visit them, they feel they have the authority to have sex with you when you say no, and you just don't want to. Okay, you came there yourself, so going out and saying, "Oh, this happened," you feel like, "Oh, I should be ashamed to say it because I walked down there." But no, there's no excuse for raping. Because I came out of trust to meet you as a boyfriend. If I say no to you, even if we've been sleeping together for 100 years and I say no at the time, you have to learn to stop. So that takes me, and there's something in your book that I really want people to go and buy the book and read. It talks about, to my dad, help me to forgive you. So I really want people to go and pick up this book. Now, next month is March, and Mother's Day is around the corner. People are thinking, what should I buy for my mom? What should I buy for my dad? Or whatever they are. I know it's Mother's Day, but you can get something for your dad as well. And I know the International Women's Day is just around the corner, 8th of March. And if you're thinking of buying people a gift, what should I buy for someone for a birthday gift? This is the book you should buy. Tell them to first go and read. To my dad, help me to forgive you. Because there's a lot of children out there. They're still holding grudges against their father. They don't even know how to forgive them. There's a lot of people there. So this might help them. Now, this takes me to the last but not the least that we're going to be talking about today, and which talks about the two faces. When I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, we have to talk about this. You really have to go and read the book, because it's so interesting that in our lives today, we all have these two faces in our lives. And one thing that I know as women, we talk about this women's solidarity. We talked about empowering women. It's all lies. Even though we preach it, even though we say it, but as women, most of us as women, we just say it, but we don't buy into it. Especially when it comes to our own selfish desires, in terms of our relationship, in terms of the things we need, in terms of ourselves. We're still very selfish to share that entire entitlement of empowerment. So that can create two faces. So those two faces, every single person has one person in your life that are two faces. So tell me, how do you express that in your book? And how do we deal with that? Or how do you deal with that? Those people in your life, there are two faces.
Well, for me, two faces was my abusive relationship. It was my abusive relationship, which started lovely. I felt like I find my Obama. I was feeling like Michelle Obama. It was lovely, but it was the love bomb, as they call it. You have that first days or weeks there where everything is lovely, he'll treat you like a queen, but the first red flag that you need to recognize that in a normal healthy relationship, things don't go that quick, it don't go that easy. If anything, you'll be asking questions, you'll be talking with your friends, do you think this is normal? You've done that, no one ever done that before, what do you think? So it started like that, and then all of a sudden, for me, the love bomb was just like a week, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, it just changed. There was times where I actually thought he was bipolar, because with me, he would be one person, and then when he was in front of people, he would be completely different. The emotional abuse, where the gaslighting, making you believe, I thought if I was still in that relationship, I'll probably be in a mental hospital, because I started doubting myself as a mother, as a person, as everything. Even going shopping, I was starting to doubting myself, because you feel like you're incapable of anything, because that's the way they make you feel. Yeah. You would say something in the morning, and then in the afternoon you question, and I never said that. And you start questioning yourself. You start thinking, am I crazy? So all of a sudden, you are in a relationship with this person, and you start preferring to send emails and sending texts, so then you can go and say, oh, you see, it's here in the text, you said it. And even when you have something to show, it starts having an argument with you. Oh, did you took the day to bug me, to annoy me, to upset me? And things always turn around to you.
Everything becomes an argument with them. Yes, everything becomes an argument. Yes. And I think with what you're saying, two faces could be anything in our lives. It could be our relationship, it could be our friends, it could be anything in our lives. But those two faces, everyone has them in their life. We're going to change the scene, and at this moment, we're going to change the scene, and we're going to really say, okay, let's just talk about what it means to be you. And why will you just what it means to to be you, why will you just get someone to buy this book? And where can they buy the book? If they are thinking of buying the book, where should they go and buy it? Those are the things I would just like you to just quickly just tell us about that. What do you want people to do? Where do you think they can get the book? Where would they get it if they need to get it?
Yes. So what means to be me? I'm a very chill person. But the person you see today is not the person that I was 5 years ago, a year ago maybe. And this book helped me. It helped me be more centered. And the reason why I think you should buy the book and offer this book to a person that you love, it's if you are giving this book to someone that you love, you're actually showing them lots of love, because with this book, through my journey, I'm sure many women out there can identify themselves, because the book doesn't just talk about domestic violence abuse. It doesn't just talk about forgiveness. The book talks about domestic violence abuse. It talks about child sexual abuse. It talks about postpartum depression. My last chapter in the book is actually to my son. I have nothing to forgive him. I actually has asked him to forgive me, because the first years of his life we didn't really connect it. So if you buy the book, you will understand. There's lots of subjects in the book, and I believe this book is for everyone. Like Susanna said, even a man can read this book. If you're working in a sector that is related with children, read the book. It will help you in a way identify that child that is always like, not calling them pushover, but it's like always trying to help, always happy, but try to see what's behind the smile, what's behind the good attitude, that child that is always quiet. Because I was also quiet as a mouse, but soon someone would come in the room, I will have a smile in my face. There's lots of things in the book for everyone, for family members, for children from 16 onwards. There's so much that you can relate, and even that it's not you, I'm sure you know someone that is going through something, and it might help you identify danger. It might help you identify red flags. It might be that your friend is in a relationship that you think is strange, but you don't really want to get involved. It might help you for you to talk to her in a way that she's not going to feel like you butting too much, but you being a friend and giving her some advice. Or maybe just give her the book. It might be that she reads the book and she realizes that she's in an abusive relationship, or that mother that maybe is leaving their kids all over the place because it's suitable for them. It might be that they're starting seeing certain change in the child and read my chapter and think, oh, maybe I should be more careful. So that's why I think you should buy the book, and you will see through the chapters my growth as a woman. You see in the beginning the way you write, you can see a change in the person that is writing. In the end, it's that strong person that realizes, you know what, I went through all of this. This doesn't define me. Now I'm ready to leave this behind.
Yeah. You are ready to leave it. You're ready to leave it behind. And guys, you're going to join us again. We're going to be coming to you every single week throughout this month to talk to you about this book, The Healing Letters. You can always contact us. You see the link when you watch it. We'll put a link where you can buy the book. And if you need to meet up with any of us, you can either link with me or with our author today. And she will be happy to, sign a copy and send it to you guys watching us. So on my side, and my both of us, we would just like to say, come together and say goodbye to everyone, and we'll see you guys next week. So, do you want to say goodbye to them? That we see them next week?
Yes. I hope to see you next week, all of you. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next Thursday. Make sure you log in and watch us.
Yes, and make sure you're sharing it to your friends and families. Start talking about it, the word of mouth. Nothing can fix the word of mouth. Let's talk about it. Women, we say we love talking. So if you need to talk about, I saw Sylvie. I saw her with the author, the lady, the bright lady with the glasses. She wrote the healing letters. Our son is also an author. sure we will talk about that next week when we meet. So enjoy the evening, everyone, and we love you, and hopefully that you show your love by sharing.
Yes, for sure. Love you all.
Good evening, ma'am.
I agree. Opened up since the lockdown thing.